Hello there, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 8 books, host of 2 PBS specials, here again to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. Specifically, how to use my life from the top of the mind philosophy to bring more clarity, confidence, creativity into everything you do. Today I want to look at the topic of defensiveness. Why do people get so defensive when there's a discussion going on? Have you noticed that? You may have had the experience of talking to someone and you kind of were thinking, you were talking about some issue, discussing the pros and cons, and all of a sudden they just got really defensive, either shut down or lashed out in a way that seemed over the top or maybe out of proportion to whatever the subject at hand is. In order to understand what's going on here, we have to understand how people respond to a difference of opinion. Because in my humble opinion, people who get defensive aren't just defending their position, they're defending their judgment. They're defending themselves. You may have seen this in social media sometimes when people are kind of talking about a different political perspective. Again, it's not about the pros and cons. It's about, do you value my judgment? Are you telling me my judgment is wrong? That's why, by the way, when we criticize anybody's spouse or choice of boyfriend or girlfriend, they get really defensive because we're not just really talking about whether or not this is the right person for them. We are criticizing, in their mind, their judgment. And when that happens, for those of you who follow my life from the top of the mind philosophy, you know this actually engages this lower 20% of the brain. So we've got the brainstem, we've got the limbic system, we've got the neocortex. Brainstem is the fight or flight response. Neocortex is where we have access to our interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills. That's what I call the top of the mind. This middle brain, the limbic system, is the part of the brain that's designed to keep us alive as a species. So it's always scanning the environment, looking for anything negative, and unfortunately it has a tendency to interpret anything negative as dangerous and throws us into that lower 20% of the brain designed to deal with danger. That's where we get defensive, because that's the defensive part of the brain. When we are being attacked, we need to defend ourselves, and we go to that part of the brain that is designed to do that. The problem is this middle brain is perceiving a difference of opinion as an attack. And that's why they get so defensive. Again, not because they're defending their position, because they're defending their judgment, they're defending themselves. So what we've got to do in order to be able to talk to someone and get to a solution-focused conversation is we've got to diffuse that defensiveness. The way we do that is with empathy. Now, a lot of people go, oh God, empathy, you guys, I've heard about it, I know it's a bit, but I don't like it because it feels like I'm giving in, or it feels like I'm agreeing with them. So what I've done is I found another way of looking at that concept of understanding someone, and it has to do with martial arts. There's a martial art out there called Aikido. And this particular martial art isn't about winning, isn't about defeating someone, it's about conflict resolution. I have found a description of that I think might be valuable. I want to read it to you. It says, it takes presence of mind and a strong center of balance not to be swept up in the energy of an attack, but instead to understand its core and direct it toward resolution. You are practicing Aikido whenever you listen with curiosity to an opposing view or search for mutual understanding, respect, and purpose. Aikido happens anytime you stop, take a breath, and choose a more purposeful state of being. It is a unique blend of power and grace. I love that last line. It is a unique blend of power and grace. It's kind of the yin and the yang. It's not just convincing someone. It's not just telling them how they're wrong and need to change. It's that power and grace. So if you truly want to resolve the conflict versus just need to be right, versus try to convince the other person that you're right, which, have you noticed, they often don't say thank you for sharing, they get more defensive. If you want to get past that, if you want to create solution-focused conversations with people, we've got to be willing to join with their energy, blend with that, and then become more influential by asking what I call a top-of-the-mind question, a neocortex question, a question that blends what's important to them with what's important to us and takes us into the future versus arguing about the past. This is what I teach. I go around the world teaching people how to become more influential in their conversations with others by practicing that art of verbal Aikido, by blending that energy. If you would like to learn this, if you think this would be valuable for your leadership team, those in your organization, All you got to do is go to my website, Ph.D.com, hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in. Love to talk with you about this because this is part of my life from the top of the mind philosophy. It's all about understanding how the brain processes information, how to shift to the clear, confident, creative part of the brain, how to stay there regardless of the situation, and how to engage other people so that they shift from their resistant brain to their receptive brain, from that defensive brain to that more open, receptive brain where we actually can create a solution-focused conversation. If this is something you're interested in, give me a call, shoot me an email, let me know what you're interested in. Love to work with you about that. In the meantime, here's to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.